We are here already. So why don't we start with you telling us, Chanel, what meme did you post? And then Wendell, what ignited you to say, oh, I need to talk about this?
And I was trying to find a meme. I can't find the exact meme because I saved so much on Instagram.
All you have is memes.
That's all. It's like full of memes. But it alluded to something like, the love that you have like after going through a toxic relationship is like the most trying relationship because you only know toxic. So when you come to a like healthy, loving relationship, like you don't really know how to move in that because you're so used to toxic. So it alluded to something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's deep because it's very true because we become accustomed to this toxic situation or just what, society tells us is toxic as well. And you move in that. But then when you have somebody who genuinely loves you and wants to care for you, you don't know how to maneuver in that situation, which can make you miss out on a lot of opportunities, missing out on love, missing out on a good, healthy relationship because you're so used to the toxic. So I posted that and Wendell was like, I need to get in this. Like, this is my show. And I need you to tell me today because I'm coming. And I remember writing him back and I was like, but you coming like the week before. He was like, that's cool. I'll come the next week too. And I was like, okay, like let's have you on back to back. You know how we do here. So that is where it stems from.
And here we are.
Back to back.
Back to back. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then Wendell, what drew you to that message?
Yeah, I'm trying to really think. I remember the post. But I don't remember, verbatim everything that was said. But it was just the way I replied to it. It was just like it become normal. So, toxicity become normal to you. Like that's normal. That's your normal. And I forgot how I kind of replied to it, but it was just like I replied. Then Chanel said something back. I'm like, hey man, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm down. Let's do it. Because me just when. What drew me to it is because I just thought about me when I read it. It was just all me. Like, man, that used to be me. Like I used to be that person. You know what I'm saying? And just not only was I toxic, but I brought, what I'm saying, some of the fumes to the fire. You know what I mean? And be not really knowing that, that what I was doing, just unlearned in so many areas as a man. As a little boy, just a grown boy, you know what I'm saying? And I brought so many of those, so many, toxic things to my relationship because of things that was put into me as a child, the toxic things that was put into me. So you grow up like that. So it just becomes normal, and then you always looking at the next person saying, well, if you would do this and if you would do that, but really you never checking yourself and saying, well, what role do I play in this? So and so man, when I read that, I'm like, oh yeah, I could do this. Like, man, we really need like 5 female, 5 women, 5 men for this, and we need to all get on here and we just need to go and without being disrespectful, let's agree to disagree, because you would be surprised, man. It's so many men and women out here, man, that they really believe like this being toxic is just the way that's how life is supposed to be. Like, this is my relationship supposed to be like that. He don't love me if he not calling me the B word, or you know what I'm saying? She don't love me if she ain't scratching up my car and pouring bleach on my clothes. That's love. And not understanding, man, hey, that's foolery. Ain't nothing about that love, you know what I'm saying? But you grow to understand. We grow in certain toxic environments. Yes. And we believe like these things are supposed to happen. If you watching mom get abused, oh, okay, so I'm supposed to beat women. Or okay, I'm supposed to let my man beat me. You know what I mean? So it's just like, man, it's so many things that we could just look at and point to and see where we weren't born toxic. This stuff was dumped into us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, with this topic, absolutely. So it's like with this topic right here, man, I would have loved to have, man, 5 on 5 and let's just go. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because you would be surprised, especially with men. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the men, like with our men, like, man, we are so man, we are just so stripped from you know, the natural resource of love and caring and compassion. So we are raised toxic. And this men, not just black men, but this men of all nationalities. Like we are raised, men don't cry, you know, be a big boy, man up. But really what you're doing is you're stripping the, so how do I supposed to care? How do I supposed to love? How do I supposed to do all this when since birth you're telling me that I'm wrong if I show this, that I'm less than a man if I show this? And in the African American community, majority of women, they don't like a man that shows emotions. They consider you weak, like you weak, this weak nigga, you know what I'm saying? He weak. He always, you know what I'm saying? He because I got emotion, but you don't want to be around me when I'm showing emotion. So you want the nigga that's gonna sit up to you and call you the B word and bitch, shut up. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and just do you any old type of way. But to them, that's, you know, that's love. I love him. He loved me. He only treat me like that because he loved me. Now he treat you like that because you a fool and he a fool. You know what I'm saying? And y'all both are so unlearned in so many areas where he don't even realize that, you know, he's just dumping all of what he have in himself on you because he don't know no better. And this all the things that he's dealing with. You know what I mean? So man, I just actually had a conversation with a guy today. And, you know, he going through some things in his marriage. And I was just asking him, you know, he was just explaining to me like, man, my wife did this and she did that, she did this. So I stopped him in midline. I say, hey, bro, listen here. I don't care about what your wife did. I don't care about what she did. What did you do? What role did you play? You know what I mean? And when we get down to the bottom of that, now you can see what made her become toxic, you know, because you brought the toxic. You know what I'm saying, to the household. You brought it. You know what I'm saying? She's just acting out because naturally women are not cheaters. You know, women, that's not what women are nurtured. No,
Women do
you know,
cheat.
Is that true?
no, I'm not saying women don't cheat, but majority of women, they're not cheaters. They're not cheaters by nature. You know, and even the women that, you know, that does, you know, step out on their marriages and step out on their boyfriends and things like that, it's something that drove them to that. They wasn't just like that. You know, as a man, we kind of, that's just in our lane. That's just in our area. If nobody, especially if we don't have a real man to look up and see what it is to take to be a real man, and we don't have that type of, you know, guidance to see, man, my granddad, I saw how he loved my grandmother, or my father, I saw how he loved my mom, and things of that nature. Like for me, I was raised that a man's supposed to have 3 and 4 women. So from the jump, I was already laced. I was already laced with nothing but toxicity in me, in my relationship. So guess what? That's how I end up having, you know, 10 children by 7 different women. And guess what? As I just bounce from woman to woman to woman to woman, I'm bouncing to a new relationship, but I'm bringing the old toxic me to the relationship. Nothing is going to change because I never thought to change. I never thought that I ever did nothing wrong. I always thought, where you shouldn't have been going through my phone. You shouldn't have did, you know what I'm saying? It was always their fault. You wouldn't have never knew if you wouldn't have been going through my phone. How dumb do that sound now, though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
sounds like no accountability. That's what it sounds like to me. But you know, that's neither here nor there.
But sis, that's absolutely right. But that's toxic.
It is.
That's that toxic. You know,
let's define toxic because it's such a trendy word right now.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and define it. What do you consider toxic to be?
Yeah, I'm definitely going with like behaviors that are, I feel like behaviors that you know are wrong, and yet you do them because you don't, like you said, you don't have any accountability, or you don't have an understanding of what accountability means. So you just do whatever makes you feel a certain type of way, but not really thinking about how this will affect others and how, you know, the accountability piece is what I think.
Right. And for me, I just say anything that's unhealthy. Anything that's unhealthy, you know, and that could be relationship wise, that can be health wise, that can however it is, we can all carry, that toxic, whatever it is. And I just believe it's anything unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's I agree with what both of you guys said, by the way. I would just add that I think that it's almost like an infection, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you are spreading, and it can be explosive, right? And because it's impacting those that you are around. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
something triggers you or ignites you to do something. Could be a defense mechanism. I don't know. I'm a psychologist, child, but I think that it causes an explosive reaction, and it could be detrimental to those around you. And you
Mm-hmm.
do lie in lack of accountability, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's somebody else's fault, or they should just understand, or I'm sorry, but
Mm-hmm.
right, I'm sorry that you felt that way, but this is who I am, so kind of
Right.
like
Absolutely.
it is what it is, right? So I think it's heavy on the lack of accountability side, but I also think that it's rooted in some lack of self-love and lack of self-healing.
That's good. Oh,
That
that's hard.
definitely on the lack of self love.
Yeah.
That's number one, because and I'm gonna speak for me. I
Mhm.
can't speak for everyone else, but I'm gonna speak for me. Um, just being the way that I was brought up and the way that I was, maneuvering through life. Now that I understand that I really didn't have no love for myself. And just like as we've been discussing the book, if you read the book and you could just really tell, like, I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about life. I didn't care about nothing. So when you just lose um that lack of love for humanity, at first you lose that lack of love for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when you lose that lack of love for yourself, now you do become dangerous, like you just said. So you do become like that nuclear bomb that is just ready to explode, and anybody around you gonna get it, and it's gonna be felt by everybody that's around you. And for me, I took a lot of my pain out on women.
Mm.
I never beat women. That was never my thing. I never put my hands on women, but emotionally and mentally, I destroyed them. You know what I'm saying? And that's because I was so damaged and destroyed in the inside. So hurt people hurt people. So
Mm-hmm.
all the thing I knew how to do was hurt women, and it wasn't intentionally. It wasn't like, I was doing it intentionally, but I was still doing it. Having 3, 4 women and 3, 4 different houses I'm living at. That just takes a toll. You think it's all fun. It's all fun and games, but you're never realizing who you're destroying. You never realizing the heart or the mind of somebody that you're destroying. You turning this beautiful woman into a woman that she don't even want to be, and that's what I was kind of explaining to the guy that I was mentoring with today. And he was just, explaining to me certain different things that his wife had began doing to him, and things she began to step out. Well, let me ask you this: would she have stepped out on you if X, Y, and Z wouldn't have happened? I don't believe so. So it then, but it you started it, and look what you polluted. You done polluted everybody because because your first of all, your lack of accountability, and then you just not care, your selfishness, because that's a lot of it too, just being
Mm.
selfish. Your selfishness, and look what you just did. Yeah, it's wrong what she did, but you started this. You set the bomb off. Now everybody is infected by it, like what you said. So everybody is infected by it. And if we don't get around the right people to really help us, now this is how the trickle effect goes. I'm gonna put this in my children. Now this when I get to tell my children, yeah, your daddy ain't this or your mama not that. Now you starting to see, you can see how little girls, they listen and say, well, my mama said a man ain't good for nothing but this. Or one,
That's true.
or you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And then you hear them little boys. Well, my uncles or my daddy told me a B supposed to do this. If she ain't this, she ain't. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that trickle down effect, and it affects everybody, and it hurts and it kills everybody. But a lot of it is just, man, unlearned and not even knowing, just not even taking the time to even try to figure out why is this happening.
Those generational cycles. But you know what I think is so interesting is I think what you're saying is, and me and my brother have this saying, right? You don't get to choose how people respond to you, right?
Mhm.
So when you go inflict pain on somebody or do something or do whatever you want to do, cheat, whatever, and then that person responds, and then you don't like how they responded, you want to judge their response. Oh, you left me. You cheated on me because I cheated on you. How could you do this? Well,
Right, absolutely.
you don't get to choose. I'm not saying that it's right, but you do not get to choose how people respond to you. And that's what I think people don't understand, right? Is that people want to do whatever they want to do and act however they want to act, but then when it's time to cash that check that you've been writing, because we don't get to choose our consequences, right?
Absolutely.
We were talking about this at your watch party, right? Is that, everybody wants to pick and choose how people are going to respond to them and what the consequences are, but you don't know what the consequences are. You don't know what the impact is, right? But when it comes down to it, you got to stand in it and accept whatever it is.
Yeah.
So if you cheated and he left, or you cheated and he cheated and went and had a whole baby,
dang,
but you just cheated, but you don't get to choose.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's true. That's true. That is so true.
Yeah. You definitely
consequences and repercussions.
Hey, listen, absolutely to all of that. But as you were talking, Wendell, it definitely made me think about like how you said, like just growing up, those toxic behaviors were instilled in you, because I'm pretty sure whoever taught you those things, that's what they knew. Like we parent, when we talked about this yesterday too, obviously for a different episode, but we parent the way that we were parented, and that can be from anybody, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, whoever is in your life that's older than you are. It could be cousins, whoever. But it made me think about another meme too, where it's like the mom is telling the boy like, stop all that crying and like you acting like a girl. And then years later, like the girlfriend is like, why won't you
open up to me?
Why won't you open up to me? And it's just like, I don't know. And I'm always very curious, because obviously I'm not a Black man, but I'm always very curious about like that dynamic. Like you get so much pressure to be like, well, you can't cry, you can't show emotion. So all of this is building up in you, and the only emotion that you can recognize as manly is anger. So then I have confusion, sadness, all these other named emotions, but I have to bury them in because that's acting like a girl. Like, what is that, and how do you get out of that?
Well, let me break this down to you, sister. That was great. That's a great question. Now let me break this down to you. Now we all know that Earth, Mother Earth, where we live on, is going through what we call global warming, right? And that's you stripping things from the Earth that's needed to keep the Earth moving in a functional way, so it don't destroy itself, right? Now let me tell you how man is so similar to Mother Earth. From birth, this is what I was saying earlier. From birth, we have been stripped. They have been stripping us from caring, from having emotions, from having feelings. When you say men don't supposed to cry, be a man. Big boys don't do this. Big boys don't do that. You a big boy. Da da da. This is what men and women do to these young boys. So now when we grow up to be men and we meet a Chanel or we meet a Sherry, and that y'all got y'all heads together and y'all doing y'all thing, and y'all met this man, girl, I think he dope, woo woo woo, but he don't know how to communicate. He have a communication problem. Guess what? Because all my life I've been taught that communicating, opening up and telling you my deepest secrets is weak. I'm weak, and I don't want you to look at me. If my mama told me I was weak, I know you gonna tell me I'm weak. I know you gonna tell me that. So if my mama been telling me you all you do is cry, you act just like a little girl, la la la. Don't no woman want no man like that. Don't no woman want no man that's always whining and always crying. So guess what? Now, when I do meet this woman that done came into my presence and she feeling me and I'm feeling her, I don't know how to love her because I really don't even know how to love myself. Emotions is part of loving yourself. When you could cry and let your emotions go, that's part of, because people don't understand, it's healing in your tears. Your tears help you heal. You have to cry. That's why when you cry, people always say, man, I feel a little bit better.
Yeah, they show.
I feel a little
Mhm.
I feel a little bit better because if you really do the research on tears, your tears have chemicals in it that make you feel better. That's why you cry. That's why you supposed to cry. I remember 2014 when I went through depression, right? I went through depression, deep, deep depression. I was in hospitals and on medicine and everything. And when I started going to the therapist, when I started getting myself on track, started going to the therapist. The first thing the lady asked me, she said, when the last time you cried? Before I had cried for the 6 whole months and couldn't stop crying. She asked me, when the last time have you cried? I couldn't tell her. I done been to funerals, my grandmama done died, friends done died. I couldn't tell her because, especially in the world that I was living in, that's a sign of weakness.
Right.
That was a sign of weakness. You can't think about death and all this while you out here playing with these guns and doing all this and doing all that, because in our minds, it's gonna get you killed. But really, I needed to go sit down and cry. I needed somebody to hug me and just let me let it all out, all the frustration and anger that I was going through. I didn't know how to do that. So it really hindered me from being the person that I really am.
Mm-hmm.
So when we meet these men that don't know how to communicate, it's not that they don't know how to communicate. They're afraid to communicate. Mm-hmm. They're afraid how you gonna look at you, how you gonna view them. Because like I used to always tell women, when I used to hear women tell me, I love you. You doing me like this, I love you. My mama don't even love me, so it's impossible that you love me more than my mama. And I don't think my mama loved me. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you got that wall built up around your heart like that, and you got this belief that you can't be loved, because in reality you really don't want to be loved. You know what I'm saying? As a man, because you know all the things that you doing that's wrong. You feeling in yourself, I really don't deserve to be loved. Mm-hmm. But as a man, you begging for the love. But you don't even know how to embrace it because nobody's ever showed you how to embrace love. So now when somebody do love you as a Black man, it's weird to you. It's weird. You run from it. Like, Chanel was, she was rubbing on my head. Man, Sherry was holding my hand like, fam, I'm walking with her like, man, let my hand go, like all this.
Let me call her a couple names real quick.
because now you talking to your guys and you like, man, Shorty weird. Like, what'd she do? Man, she was rubbing on my head and she steady kept on want to keep touching on my hands and all this and all that. And then you got that one friend that grew up with the mama and the daddy in the house, and they understand that's real love. They would never say nothing because they don't want to be looked at as the outcast, and they really can help. I'm being honest, and they really can help you. They really can help you and say, no, bro, that ain't weird. She's showing you affection. Mm-hmm. She's showing you some type of affection, but since you never really endured that type of affection, that is weird to you.
Right.
When before I got saved, and I sold drugs and I did all that, my kids had everything that they could ever want. Mm-hmm. But guess what? I never told my kids I love them. I never told my children I love them. When I start telling my kids that I love them, when I first started doing it, they used to just laugh because it was weird. Wow. It was so weird to them. They just used to laugh. And I used to ask them, like, what y'all laughing for? Then they'd give me the little look, I love you too, daddy, because it was weird. But over the last 7, 8 years of me doing this every single day. So now when we on the phone, when I'm dropping them off or whatever, now when I say I love them, they know, okay, this is daddy thing now. You know what I'm saying? So now just imagine you getting in if I wouldn't have changed that, a young woman getting into a relationship with one of my sons that's trying to show them that love. They gonna run from it. They gonna run from it because only thing I ever taught them was I love you because I take care of you. I love you because you got a roof over your head. But did I ever hug you? Did I ever do these type of things? Did I ever do all that? So all that becomes toxic. So you're gonna take it to the next. You're gonna take it to somebody that you come encounter with, or you're gonna take it to your children. How many people that I talk to always say, well, man, I never got that from in my family. Me neither. But now that I got people around me that do that, I like that. I love telling my kids I love them every day. I'm proud of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So they can always know my daddy always encouraged me to be the best me. People encourage me to be the worst me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To be the worst, to be
That's
the worst.
crazy,
They never,
yeah.
but it's the truth though.
It
you know
is,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you go into 90% of I'm gonna say 99% of the urban communities right now, and you sit a black man down, and we had this same discussion, and I'm telling you, I don't care how old they are, 99% of them gonna be lost. They not gonna understand what real love is because a majority of them don't even love themselves. So how can they ever even embrace your love when they don't even love them?
And you know,
you have to love you.
It's crazy that you say that because through some conversations with friends, you know, on the side, I won't say which friends, but so some of us, we some common themes and sayings is we'll be like, guys only want girls who don't want them.
Yes.
Right? Because if you are being nice and being compassionate and being, you know, all those things, they'll kind of run away from that. Right. And girl, we do it too. We do it too. So not just the guys. We do it too. And then two, me and my friend DJ, well, hey, that conversation's out there, but me and her, when we were young, we were in high school, we used to always say, like, you know what? All this time we thinking that women are insecure, it's really the men, because why, if you gotta have 3 or 4, 5 women, what you need, a backup? Like if that's not insecurity, then I don't know what is.
That's good.
Absolutely.
That's a great
that's true.
That was
That's
just always
true.
our little theory, right? Doesn't mean that if you don't, then you're secure, right?
Yeah.
But we just always thought that was definitely a symptom of an insecurity of like,
Absolutely.
I gotta sleep with all these women, I gotta have all these women. It's like, well, who are you trying to prove yourself to, sir?
And guess what? You as me being a man that has been down that road, you're not trying to prove yourself to yourself. You're trying to prove it to other people that you're a man. That's something you're trying to prove to you're trying to prove to the world that you are a man. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? The world don't care nothing about you. The world cares absolutely nothing about you. So when you bring old girl on the block and all this and all that, it's gonna be fun for the moment. It's just like pulling up in a brand new car. When you pull off, it's no longer brand new no more. You know what I'm saying? So that insecurity lies in just and that's where we go from. That's where we go from back to that growing up. Always been insecure, but never had nobody to pump confidence in you. Never had nobody to push you to be the best you that you could be, because all you ever heard was, I get on your nerves, you get on my nerves, I'm tired of you, y'all kids get on my nerves. I don't know, that was so stupid. Why did you do that? Nobody never set me down and told me, well, let me tell you why you shouldn't have done it.
Right.
Let me explain to you why you don't need 4 or 5 women. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody in my household married. My grandmamas them wasn't married. They had baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? Even though my mom's mom and her dad were together, you know, they wasn't married. And he treated my grandmother horrible.
Mm.
So it was like, who do I learn on being a man from?
Right.
Who do I learn how to, even treat a woman, how to open doors for a woman, how to, do these type of things that mean things to a woman. It might not mean nothing to you, but it means something to somebody that you're with. So that means it means something. You know what I mean? But if you ask the average man, they gonna say, man, Sherry, you be doing too much, man.
Oh yeah, I get something all the time.
Yeah, definitely heard that for me.
You doing too much.
Doing too much. And this ain't no movie. And like, what? How you
You
gonna
need to
tell me?
lower your standards.
Yes.
Ain't nobody doing this. No, honey, you're
But
not
the
doing
whole,
it.
but
For
the
that
whole
reason.
thing about, but the
Well,
whole
that's
thing
crazy.
it is the real thing it is it's weird to them. That is weird. That's weird, and it's not normal. Like I've never, and that's why they say I only see this on the movie. No, where you think the movie got it from somewhere? The movie it was based off of something. Whether it was a fictional movie or real life movie, it was based off of something. They didn't just think about it. This came from somewhere. So and one thing I always say, man, you trying to act like them white folks. No, why do white folks are the only ones that act like they in love? Why they only ones to be in love?
And be married.
And be married. You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to act like them white folks? Are you serious? They just like somebody saying, you, Sherry, you trying to talk white. So
I've heard
I got
that
the
a lot too.
so to prove that I'm black, I got to talk like a fool.
Right.
Makes no sense.
None
but
at
guess
all.
what? It was taught. That was taught.
It was taught.
Yeah.
It was taught.
You know what I'm saying? So it'd be like in the things like, especially as speaking of a black man coming from the ghetto and the, being born and raised in all that, toxic environments and all this and all that. I understand from what my brothers are going through, and that's why I be out here every day trying to coach them and trying to help them. Like, even though the guy I was on the phone with today, I'm at work, I'm on the phone with him for a whole hour and a half, killed my whole battery to my phone. He never got it. He never got it. You could not tell this man not one time that him and his wife not finna get a divorce because of his wife, but he cheated first.
See, I told you don't get to pick how people respond.
You feel me? He cheated first, but
when she did it, that wasn't
right. That's
the
end.
She did it. That whoa, you didn't cross the line.
So the whole relationship away. We're done.
You know what
here.
I'm saying? So it's like
it's real.
Man, and I was just trying to explain to him, and I told him, I said, bro, as being your big brother, man, you wrong, and I got to be honest with you, you're wrong. And he was saying, bro, you keep telling me I'm wrong. You keep on defending her. I never defended her one time, because first of all, that's your wife. I never defend your wife. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you where you're wrong at as a man. This is where you drop the ball at with your family. This is where you drop the ball at.
I'm just trying to hold you accountable. That's it.
That's all. I don't know your wife. I know you. And this is what you did wrong. Well, bro, that happened 2-3 years ago. I told I was sorry. And this is the part where we left off at last when we talked last week. You told her you were sorry, but what was you sorry for? What was you sorry for? I'm so glad
you said that. I saw this on TikTok, and the person was like, grab a plate and throw it on the ground. So the person throws the plate on the ground, it shatters into a million pieces. And then the person says, now tell the plate that you're sorry. And so the person is like, I'm sorry. And then they were like, did that fix anything? And they were like, no. And then it was like, there you have it. And then the video ended. I was like, dang. Right?
That's a good visual.
Sorry is one thing, but how are you making it better? How are
you going to fix it?
How are you going to fix it? Like, sorry is only half, if even half of the remedy here.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
And guess what? And like I was explaining to him, you can't go buy her nothing. You can't take her to a movie. You can't go take her out to eat. You can't do absolutely nothing until you fix it. How do you fix it? And how do you fix it? However she wanted to be fixed.
However she wanted to be fixed.
And you could never say, I'm tired of you keep on bringing that up. Well, guess what? You brought it to the picture. You brought it
You
to the
started it.
table.
Right.
You started this. So why? So tell me, why are you tired of me steady talking about it when you was the one that brought it to the table?
And you've yet to fix it.
Right.
And you
And it's so
yet
funny
to fix it.
that you say that, because even in my work, right, when different contractual obligations are broken, we actually spell out what the remedy is to fix it, right? So once you've done that, now we're whole.
Mhm.
So if you
Absolutely.
do A, you must follow up with B. If you don't follow up with B, you have
Yes.
breached. And now, look, now we talk about separation.
Right.
Listen.
Absolutely.
So if you want to make
Absolutely.
it right, do the daggone remedy,
Listen.
and we're good to go here.
Or
If you can't do the remedy, now we're out of the contract. And a marriage is a contract. Let's not forget that.
that part. Or see your way out. If you can't do B, you gotta see your way out of here.
And that's the truth. And that's why, and that's why I was telling bro, I said, and that's why right now the country is at an all-time high in divorces, because nobody, see, everybody want to get married, but nobody want to put the work in to be a wife or be a husband. Totally different things. It's totally two different things. And guess what? It's about compromising. We're gonna have to compromise on some things. It's some things that you gonna have that ain't gonna be able to stay. It's some stuff that I'm gonna have that ain't gonna be able to stay, but we gonna come together. And if by chance we feel like this might not work, let's be adults about it.
Yeah.
Let's be adults about it. Don't step out and make the relationship or make the marriage even more worse than what it is. Let's just sit down and say, hey, you know what? I just don't think this is working. You don't think it's working. I don't think this is working. So let's just do the adult thing and let's just go on separate ways.
Let's be amicable. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's it. Because if you don't, this is what I see was about to happen. And I don't want, anything to transpire. We in here fighting or doing anything like that. So let's just figure this out and let's just go our separate ways. Either it's fixable, like you said, either it's fixable, or we just gonna go our separate ways. And guess what, man? We tried, we gave it the best. We're not quitters. We just gonna leave this alone. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I had to get to that point. I wasn't there at first. Man, what? Coming to somebody
What's the most toxic thing that you've ever done?
That's a good question.
And then
the most toxic thing that I've ever done.
Okay, everything will work.
And was like I have 3 children that's like a month apart. Like one of their birthdays is May 20th, the other one is June 10th, the other one is June 20th. You know what I'm saying? And like they was born the same year.
Wow.
A month apart.
The 3 moms were all pregnant at the same time.
Yeah.
Did they know that they were all
right? Did they know
that each other existed?
And guess what? They all found out together.
They found out together.
They all found out together, and it was terrible. It was
like they were all at the hospital. Like how did they all find out together?
What happened was I was over one of my baby mama's house, and it was the day after my birthday, and my birthday December 28th. I was drunk, hungover, and she got my phone. So she got my phone, and that's when the Nextels and all that I had a Nextel. So she just went outside and she just got to chirping everybody. And they met up. They all met up, and man, they all was pregnant. And man, they took all my money. They took all my money. Because I never kept everything at one house. So I have my money here, I have my drugs there, and man, they all got my money and all my drugs to each other. They went and got it. Man, they went and gave all the drugs to the neighborhood niggas. And they went and man, listen, when I tell you everybody was finna die, everybody was finna die.
Was this in the book?
Jeez. But guess what though? The thing about it was it taught me a lesson. It taught me a lesson. It taught me, I didn't learn from the lesson. Let me put that out there, but it taught me a lesson. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But I never considered how each one of them was gonna feel
Right.
when I got caught. Cause
Yeah.
it wasn't no, it was just a matter of time when I got caught because I knew everybody was due. I knew everybody was about to have these babies in May and June. These babies was coming. I don't have my children. I'm not about to have my children from nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew it was about to come out. I just didn't know it was gonna come out the way that it did. You know what I'm saying? But as I talked to each and every one of them, I'd never realized, like I didn't realize at that time, like I really destroyed them women. Like I destroyed them. Like I really like I really did something to them that they thought, you know, because they I can honestly say they loved me. They cared about me. I can't say a person might say, well, man, you had money, so that's why. But no, it was more than that. You have to have some type of feelings for somebody to have a baby by a person. You have to have some type of feelings for a person. You know what I'm saying? So you know, and yeah, man, that was one of the things that I've always, and I think about that often. Like, man, that was kind of wrong. That was cruel. That it wasn't just wrong. It was cruel. Like that was cruel. And even though they were mad and they went and spent up the money at Michigan City at the outlet mall and did all that, but at the end of the night, yeah, no, it was Michigan City, Indiana. Like we was it was like that's like our Pleasant Prairie in Chicago.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So even when the dust settled and the night came and everybody went their own ways, man, just hearing those women call me and they crying and you know, and they hurting and they, how could you do me like this? And I really don't have nothing to say, but I'm sorry. And the only thing I was really sorry about is how I got caught. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not that I'm sorry that this happened. I'm just sorry that I got caught. And I'm really, you know, I really don't even know what they done did with my money and stuff yet. So I'm really trying to play the nice guy to get my money and my drugs back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry. But it was more than just them women were hurt. And to this day, like, you know, we got a decent relationship, but I know they still hold that, you know, against me. Like this joker right here, like he was wrong, you know, like he was really wrong. And I was, and I'm man enough to say like I was totally bogus. You know what I'm saying? I was dead wrong because I put, it's okay. I'm gonna put it like this. Now, if me telling you this what it is, and you saying, okay, I'm willing to roll with it, then hey, it is what it is. We go from there. Like, man, no hurt, no harm, no foul. But when you telling, man, you my woman, I ain't cheating on you, and you my woman, I ain't cheating on you, I love you. Now they're looking at it at a whole different perspective. You know what I'm saying? And you talking about marriage with all three women and knowing you don't have no plans on marrying neither one of them. It's just, you know, they want to talk about it, so we gonna talk about it. So with all that, and then to hear them, you know, how hurt they really were, and to listen to the cries, and I'm steady hanging up the phone because I don't want to talk to them and things like that, because at the end of the day, I'm still not even man enough to understand what I've done. I don't even realize what I have done. I just know that I need my drugs back. I need my money back. And my other baby mama that got my car, you could bring me my other car back. You know what I'm saying? I can go find me another crib. I'm not tripping about that. I'll go get me 3 other baby mamas. I ain't tripping about that. But that's that mindset that I had. You know what I'm saying? And nobody was around me to hold me accountable. Nobody was able to sit me down and say, Dale, you wrong. What
so
you
when
doing
all that
is
happened,
wrong.
nobody said, hey, bro.
Like not one person.
Now look,
because you got to understand, so it's like who was gonna be able to tell me that when we all was doing the same thing? You probably didn't have 3 babies on the way, but you got 3 women.
Right.
How I'm gonna listen to you and you doing the same thing that I'm doing, and every other day somebody getting caught up on the block. We laughing and smoking blunts, talking about, man, this goofy done got caught up. Baby moms caught him up. Woo, woo, woo. So who is gonna really sit me down? I don't have no. The older men that's around me, they strung out on drugs. They this and they that. Who gonna sit me down and talk to me and tell me that I'm wrong? You know what I'm saying? My mama, she in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? Man, I ain't talked to her in years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like nobody was able to really sit me down and tell me that. And you know, when I look at my children and I look at my three children, like they are very close. They are real close. Like all of my kids are close. Like all 10 of my children, they are really, really close. You know what I'm saying? But it just and the good thing about it, their mothers never told them. Their mothers never told them like, this what your daddy did to me. This what your daddy did to us. But they know, like, man, Pop's like, man, we a month apart.
Yeah, like
you know what I'm saying? Like we
16.
right.
Like
we're
man,
not twins.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
It's
Like so
implied.
we a month.
Heavily implied.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So it was like, man, with that. So that's why I really be like on my boys about, you know, certain things that they watch me do and watch me, you know what I'm saying? Even if me and my wife having a disagreement, you know, we don't disagree in front of the kids. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, let's take a ride. You know what I'm saying? Let's go in the room or something like that, because I never want them to see me treating, you know what I'm saying, the woman that I'm with in no type of manner. Now you got to remember, my children never even seen me with their own mama.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is the first woman that they ever seen me with. You know what I'm saying? Like, now let me take that back. My oldest two sons have seen me with my boys' mama, with my three boys' mama. But my other kids, my other 7 children, they've never seen me with a woman. Like my wife was the first woman that they've ever seen me with. You know what I'm saying? They never even seen me with their own mother. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I did all that strategically and for a purpose. You know, I never wanted to entwine them in none of that type of stuff. And, you know, bringing different women to the house. And, you know, when I had full custody over them, when I lived in Milwaukee, when I first moved to Milwaukee, you know, I took them to Chicago every weekend and then I did my thing. But while they was with me during the week, man, dad was just dad. I'm gonna do your homework. We gonna have clean clothes every day. You gonna eat every day. They thought I was going to work when they was leaving out to go to school. And when they came home, that's the way that I always tried to raise my children, because I knew the things that people had put in me. I never wanted my children to get that and even think that was cool to even glorify that type of behavior. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the day that we are living in right now, because somebody will kill you over their heart. These people will kill you. And that's what I tell my daughter all the time, my 19-year-old daughter. I tell her all the time, sweetheart, don't let nobody put no title on you. You ain't nobody woman. You let that be known right now, because the average 19-year-old little boy this day and age, they are not mentally ready to talking about they nobody woman. And don't mess around and give them a little bit. Everybody be dead. We all will be dead. You know what I'm saying? Because
but it's true, man.
For real. And because they're not mentally, like, when we was growing up, we was mentally tough. They just not mentally tough.
Yeah.
You know, so and it comes from and it stems from, you know, that household, no love in the household, mom's not loving them. So when they get these women, they love these women so hard where I'd rather die without you. I'd rather you die before you go to somebody else. We all just die. And you see it every day on the news, and they'd be like, well, why he killed that girl? Because he wasn't mentally tough. He wasn't mentally sound to be in no type of relationship, because the woman that he really loved don't have time for him. And it's really his mama. That's what he's looking for. That's the love that he's looking for, but you don't have time for him, because she running the streets. She had him at 14, 15 years old. She still want to run the streets and run the clubs and do all this and do all that. So the who he's urging for that love, he's yearning for it. But moms don't have time for him. So you know what? I'm gonna go find it somewhere else. But when they try to take it away from me, I'm gonna do to you what I really want to do to my mama. This is what I really want to do to my mama. You know, so man, it's just we man, it's tough, man. It's
And
tough.
that's why love ain't enough. Because like you said, people, oh, but I love you, yeah, and you also keep hurting me.
Exactly.
And those are some of those people will, if you try to walk away from them, kill you.
Yeah,
That
love you
one
to
girl,
death.
they found her dead with
Yes.
her boyfriend. Like that's
Yes,
crazy.
they will love you
And
to
it's
death.
it's always the husband, the boyfriend, the wife, or the mother who kills the spouse. You know.
We
Yes.
watch enough
Yes.
shows.
Did you
know.
love him? Exactly. We watch unsolved mysteries all the time.
All the time. Like we know.
We watch solved mysteries, right? But it's
Man.
always the
That's
spouse.
so true.
And that's why love just ain't enough. So
It's
you
not.
saying you love me, that's cute.
Right. I mean,
that's nice.
But
however,
where's the rest?
respect?
Right.
Right.
Where's the rest? There's
Yeah.
more to this story. Wendell, how many sons do you have?
I got six sons and 4 daughters.
Okay, what's the age ranges of your boys?
My oldest son, 25.
Dang, wow.
Yeah. And then my son after him is 21. And then I have a 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old he'll be 16 tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yep. And then I have a 14-year-old.
Okay. So then
and like my 18-year-old, him, my daughter, and my other son, they the ones all their birthdays like a month apart.
Oh wow. So now you touched a little bit on like breaking those cycles, and you wanted to be a different example for your children than what was given to you. So what are some of those conversations now that you're having with your boys, aside from you tell your kids you love them all the time, that's so dope. Because I'm the same way with my son too. Like
you tell everybody.
I do tell everybody. And maybe that's like just from some trauma that I had. But my mom is very much like that. Like she just loves everybody. I think that kind of comes from my mom.
I just think it's funny because I'm never expecting it. Like I told my brother the other day.
I tell everybody, and it rolls off my tongue.
Like, yeah, I was like, you better tell her you love her back.
Especially if like we're parting ways. It's like, I love you, bye. Like
it's part of her like, okay, bye, see you later. It just be like, okay, bye, see you later. I love you. And like it just comes out. I don't know what that is.
That's bad.
But that's good though, because I ain't gonna even lie. I'm like that now. Like I'm like that now. Like I love to tell people that I love, because you don't even know. Like you could. You telling somebody that could stop a person from going home and killing themselves.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So to your question, what I just have real life conversations with them. Like I have real life conversations with them. Like my oldest 2 sons, they grown, so they still got to make their own decisions. Mm-hmm. But like my not my oldest son, but my son under him, he reach out to me all the time. Like when he having going through things with his baby moms and things of that nature. And one thing that I always do is that accountability factor that we always talk about. I always put the ball back in his court. Mm-hmm. How could you could have handled that differently? I've never been the parent that called my kids names. Even before I got saved, I was never that type of parent. I didn't yell at them and curse at them. Like that never been my thing. Like my mom didn't curse at us. My mom didn't curse at us. She didn't whoop us or none of that. So I got that honestly from my mom. Like I never cursed at my kids and whooping them. Only time my kids ever really got a whooping is if they did something wrong in school. You know what I'm saying? Or they disrespected an adult or something. Like I'm stern on that. But now it's just the real live conversations. I let them see what's going on in the real world. Y'all see what's going on in the real world, far as with these guys in these relationships. That's why when anything happen, when these guys be, when they kill their girlfriends and things of that nature, I always call my 19-year-old daughter and ask her, did you see that on the news? Like, this is why I don't tell you this to try to scare you. I'm letting you know that this is what's going on. So this is why I tell you to be careful. You know, my daughter, when she go out the door, you know, she's 19. I still tell her, hey man, drop your location.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Drop your location. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know. So them conversations are needed. It's not about being I'm always being your business as long as you live in my house. Your business is my business. You know what I'm saying? Like, we let our children get to a certain age and we feel like, you know, I don't want to be in their business. I don't want to invade their privacy. You better invade their privacy. You better get in their business, because you never know. Some of them don't. They be thinking they love these little boys or these little girls so much that they'll be doing certain things trying to prove they love, and all the time, man, they about to get themselves killed, or they about to end up with herpes or HIV or something because they doing something because they trying to please somebody, you know. So just let them know, and just building that confidence in them, letting them know who they are, you know, because once they understand who they are, they'll never be what somebody else wants them to be. You know what I'm saying? So just building that confidence in them and just letting them know, you know, and I'm quick to tell them, man, y'all daddy is that dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't do that on a bragging way. I do that to let them know, like, it's nothing that you will never be able to overcome. It's nothing that you can't do if you put your mind to it, because this is how your daddy did this. This is how your father did. I don't have to go look for stories to show them when I got my own stories.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did you read chapter 5?
It's all in there.
So it just be with those conversations that's much needed. Like, with those, like just like Chanel, I be seeing you, like, you very hands-on. Is you very hands-on with your son, you know what I'm saying? And he need that. And the thing about it is, he need that love from a woman. So when he get to that age and understand, you know, when he want to deal with those relationships, he's gonna always know, like, you know, this is the way my mom loved me. So it's never gonna be foreign to him. It's never gonna be like, man, what's she doing? It's never gonna be a weird feeling. So he around you, then he around Sherry, and then your other girlfriends and things like that. So guess what y'all doing? Y'all are already teaching him how to have respect for women. You know what I'm saying? How to treat a woman. You know what I mean? So it's not like he around the guys and they be this, hold that, and you know what I'm saying? And now he's adopting that lingo, like this is the cool thing to do. No, I'm not. White mama can't be a queen. So now when he around those type of guys, what he's gonna bring to the table, he's gonna help them. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna help them. Either gonna help them or he's gonna separate himself from them. Like, no, that because my mama not gonna agree with that. You know what I'm saying? My mom not gonna agree with that. My dad is not gonna agree if he hear me talking about a woman like this. You know what I'm saying? So them the things that, man, I have those conversations in the way that I run my household. Is just, man, it's certain things that even kids, they just shouldn't see. Certain things they shouldn't hear, because you never want to leave that impression on them, like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be kind of grateful that, you know, my children, I had them all so young, and I had them all so much back to back, that they really never got to see me encounter with women. They never seen that. So that was kind of really a blessing. You know what I'm saying? That they really never got a chance to see me act like that, because who knows the things that they gonna take up. They already got to understand, they already my kids, so they already gonna have traits of me. You know what I'm saying? So now with those traits and those generational curses that we talk about, man, we gotta break that. We gotta break that cycle. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's what I do.
But like, how? Because okay, so now you're married, and how long have you been married?
7 years.
7 years.
Okay.
7 is
the magic number,
right?
Yes.
So now you're married, but you know, like you said, you do have the way that you grew up, right? Where you were aspiring to be like your uncle who had lots of women, sold drugs, etc. You did follow in his footsteps, right? But now you're deciding, okay, I'm going to change. I want to be different. I want to evolve. But how do you stop, or how do you even see? Because a lot of times we don't see our own toxicity, right? We just react, right?
Mhm.
So you trigger something to me, I react or I respond the way that's comfortable. So
Mhm.
how did you make that transition with your wife to be intentional and be deliberate about, okay, this right here that I'm doing or my gut reaction is toxic. Let me change that into something that's and respond out of love.
Well, the thing about it is, I believe every man that's in the position that I was in once in, we all need rock bottom.
Mm. Shouts
We
out to
all
rock
need
bottom.
that.
Mhm.
We we all need rock bottom. Because let me tell you something about rock bottom. Rock bottom make you have a reality check.
Yes, it does.
Rock bottom. Like I said, when I did that to my three kids, children's mom, I didn't learn from it, you know, even though I learned from it, if that makes sense. But I really didn't learn how to correct my behavior.
You didn't
You
change.
know what I'm saying?
You had
I
the
never
wisdom, but you
changed.
didn't apply
Uh,
it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it was like we all need rock bottom. And like with that 2014 incident when I went through the depression, it was my wife that, you know, when we was boyfriend and girlfriend, now guess what? Now she got the gun now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Now she got the gun now. Now she cheating and she doing this and she doing that. And guess what? I couldn't handle that. I couldn't
Mm.
handle that. So with all the stuff that I'm going through, with all the
Hold
stuff
on,
that I'm
wait a
dealing
minute.
with,
How come people they always can dish out stuff
But
that
can't
they
take
can't
it.
take?
Jesus. Every
yeah.
time.
Because at the end of the day, it's just like being in the street. Nobody tell you the things that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Nobody tell you these are things that's gonna happen. They just show you the fantasy world. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? With the
Indeed.
money, the drugs, and all this and all that. So even with that, nobody, yeah, they told me, man, have a million women and do this and do that. But nobody told me, hey man, this woman gonna get tired one day. One day, loves run out, grace runs out.
Mhm.
Nobody never told me that. You know what I'm saying? And just like you said, you can't pick and choose your consequences.
Okay. I wish we
You
could. I do.
but
But you
just be
can't.
willing to deal with it
You willing
when
to
it
deal with
comes.
it.
Because guess what? That person had to deal with what you did, and that wasn't even a consequence.
It
The
wasn't
real
even a
No.
consequence.
consequence. You know what I'm saying?
That's
That
crazy.
and that's the person that you should have more sympathy for. Don't have sympathy for me because what I put this person through, this wasn't even a consequence. This was a selfish choice that I
Mm.
chose to make, being selfish, regardless of whether I knew or didn't know. It was still selfish because you involved somebody else in the middle of something that you should have never involved them in. You know what I'm saying? So if you felt like that you wasn't ready for that, just let that person go do what they gonna do. You know what I mean? Instead of dragging somebody in the middle of what you gotta do. You know, so for me, it was just rock bottom. I had to experience rock bottom.
Mm.
I had to feel what I have put 7 women through that carry kids for me
Mm.
and women before them. I had to feel that.
Mhm.
I needed to feel that. You know what I mean? I needed to understand how a woman can sit in the house and cry for hours and
Mm.
hours and can't eat and
Mm.
can't sleep and
Mm.
want to feel like, why did this person do this to me? I
Mm.
loved her. I did this. I needed to feel that. I had
Mm.
Deep.
listen, was it fun? No,
No.
not at all.
No.
Not at all. But guess what? I'm pretty sure it wasn't fun for them neither.
Mm. That
You
Yeah,
you know
that's
part.
you
true.
know you know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's something that I would never um I would never want my worst enemy to go through. But guess what? Some things we need to go through because it's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
It wakes
Right.
you up.
Yeah.
It wakes you up and it don't just make you appreciate your wife, it makes you appreciate women as a whole. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because this is a true story. This young lady that I work with now, they sent her to another center. She was just working at my center, and her friend was telling me, like, man, she kind of was digging you, right? And I had to tell the friend, I said, well, she know I'm married. She like, yeah. I said, I wouldn't even ruin that woman's life like that. So the friend kind of looked at me and said, huh? I said, let me tell you something, sweetheart. Nothing good could come out of if me and her was to mess around. I said, nothing good could come out of it. I said, so me knowing what I'm knowing, I wouldn't even want to ruin your life like that. I said, because, and then I just got to break it down, situations and scenarios about how God will intervene and it's never going to go right. I said, and even when my wife find out, because she's going to find out, you know what I'm saying? I said, when she find out, me and your friend, we're not going to even be together. I said, because of how it all happened. I said, so, and absolutely. And I was breaking down to the young lady. I said, sweetheart, let me tell y'all something. I'm like, and I want you to tell your friend this. Y'all have so much going for y'all that y'all just settle. You are settled. You are settled for a married man because you feel that you less than having your own husband. Because really, and the reality is, like I told our friend, the reality is that you really just don't want to put the work in. See, what you see about me, you like the way I dress, you think I'm sexy, you want to hit, and you want to send me back to my wife. I'm not no fool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no fool. Whether my wife there or not, I'm still playing in her face. I'm not no fool. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, sweetheart, I'm not going to ruin your life because what you think that you want to do to Dale, you don't even know who Dale is for real. You hear me talking, the motivational speaking, all this and all that. But if we go down this road, you don't want to see this road. You don't want to see going down this road because what you think is going to be all fun and games, sweetheart, I'm going to spin you upside down. This ain't really what you want. So the friend was just laughing like, man, you think you all that? I just left it alone. Like, sis, look, let's change the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
I said no. Okay, look, this will go back to the previous conversation about boundaries. I said no.
Because
you know what?
Because
we're just gonna stop.
because at the end of the day is you really don't even understand what you're getting yourself into. And I'm smart enough to let you know, like, hey man, let's just leave that alone. Let's just leave that, because that's why even with the conversation, and I was talking to one of the guys about that. He was like, why you just cut it off? Why you just cut off like that? Because bro, it's just certain conversations I just shouldn't have.
Yeah. And some things you just need to cut off at the root, because if not, it's going to grow. Yeah. So in a month, I don't want her flirting or whatever. No. In 2 weeks, you brought me lunch because you was just thinking about no. My no is gonna look like no, it's gonna sound like no, and it's gonna feel like no. Like no.
Yes, every single time.
Because one thing my pastor always tell me, he say, Wendell and Sherry, you know our pastor, you know what I'm saying? He always tell me like, you know, I never understood this when he used to say it. The Holy Spirit is attractive. You know what I'm saying? So when you find a man or a woman that's walking in the Holy Spirit, that's going to be attractive to people. And it's the way that they talk, it's the way that they articulate themselves, the way that they carry themselves. That's attractive. And if you're not careful, what you would do is you will actually end up hurting a person way more than you help a person. That's why I had to learn I just can't talk to every woman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had a woman at church. Sunday. Now it's all these women in this building. She called me. She said, hey, you come here. I think you can help me. I said, yes, ma'am. What's going on? Man, I heard y'all got a good youth program and y'all do this with the youth. Y'all do that with the youth. I said, yeah, I got to explain it to him. She said, well, let me take your number down and I could call you. I instantly. Eyes go up. I'm looking for one of the lady ministers. I found one. Sis, come here right now. You know what I'm saying? Now you could talk to her. This Sister Raquel, you talk to her, you give her information, but it's things like that. Don't be no fool.
Yeah.
Why is all these women in this church and you want my number?
Yeah.
What do you want my number for? You know what I'm saying?
Some people like to open the door. She was trying to open the door. She was gonna see if you was gonna let her in. You know, just a little bit. But you slammed it. So.
She was shooting her shot, little Steph Curry with the step back.
Yeah, and we have to be mindful of those things because just because I call myself saved that don't mean she saved.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So just because I'm getting rid of all the toxic waste that was in my body, man, she full of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it just be like
Mm.
with those type of things like that, we just have to be mindful. We have to just keep our eyes open. And you know what? It's not, listen, sis, I love you to death, but at the end of the day, I just can't entertain that. So when sis, when the minister Raquel walked over there and I introduced them, hey, this sister so and so, man, this minister Raquel, she wanted to know about the about our youth program with what we do with the youth. I said, man, y'all talk, I'm gone. I walked dead away. It wasn't no standing there. It wasn't no none of that. Let me go and get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go and get. I pointed you to the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So and that's when, you know, me as a man, me especially as a black man, and knowing my history with women, it's just certain things that I have to know. Like, you know, I have to. That's why even with my wife, like my wife has all of my Instagram and Facebook, all that. Every time somebody leave me a message or something, it comes to her phone. And I done, and that's for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's to hold me accountable. Yes, I need
now you
that.
got somebody
You know what
else.
I'm saying? So it's like all those things like that, because it keeps me where I need to be.
Yeah.
Right.
It keeps me where I need to be, because we gonna be honest. The flesh want what it want.
Yeah.
When it want it.
Never trust
You know
a
what
big
I'm
wheel to
saying?
smile.
Hey.
You feel me?
Wait.
So it just be like with that.
We're gonna get kicked off
We
the air
are.
because we came on late, and the next show is starting in exactly 3
Yes.
minutes. So what
We
we're
gotta do a
gonna
part
do
2.
is we have to do a part 2. So we are gonna go ahead and get the outro.
Yes.
And then you can stay on, and
Yes.
then we'll set up what the next time is.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning into Bunch of Bitches podcast. Until next time.
Peace.